Coming up on Mental Health Marty, Economic Empowerment 101. Stay tuned. What's going on, everyone? Hey, it's so good to see you. And it's me, your host, Martina Sellers, coming to you live and always in living color in Southern California, where the sun is always shining. And it's so good to see you. It is, can you believe it's election day? It is the 2nd of June. And where has time gone already? We are getting ready to enter into the summer months. And for those of you on the East Coast that's joining us, we are already in the heat out here. The May gray, and we normally have June gloom, but June gloom has left us already, and we're going straight into the heat. But we hope and pray that you are doing well. And tonight, I'm not only going to be representing Mental Health Marty, but we also want to be excited that also the 100 Black Men of the IE This Way is joining us too. So we're going to be live on 2 YouTube channels as well. So please listen, go tell everyone what we're talking about tonight. Tonight's discussion is going to be about Economic Empowerment 101. And it's a topic that definitely affects our mental health. Because let me tell you something, you play with my money, you want to see me get depressed real quick, hey, it hits us all. And we got to have stronger conversations and have a better relationship about how we manage, how we talk, and how we discuss finances. So that's what we always do. But before we go into that, let me remind you, give you a little disclaimer on who we are and why we do what we do. Here at the Mental Health Marty Show, our purpose is to provide mental health awareness and to discuss and have those conversations about what it means to be mentally wise and really to know about our mental fortitude. This program is for educational and awareness purposes only. It is not to replace you seeing your therapist, your psychologist, your psychiatrist, your pastor, your preacher, your life coach, your financial coach, or any of those things, but it's to bring about awareness and to have the conversation. So if you're experiencing any type of mental health crisis or need to definitely get some support, we definitely encourage you to dial 988, which is the mental health crisis line, or go to your nearest urgent care, because we always want you to be safe and sound. And if you have not booked your appointment with your financial advisor before this show lets out or by tomorrow morning, call your financial advisor. You can go to your bank, talk to them about that. We want to be aware, because in this economy and the way that times are, we have to be more financially aware and ready to seek economic empowerment, because that's what it's all about. And I'm excited about this because economic empowerment is one of the pillars for the 100 Black Men. And as we celebrate 40 years as an organization, the 100 Black Men is one of the largest and is known as the largest mentor group in America, because we support mentoring our Black and brown children. We don't discriminate. Just because we say we're the 100 Black Men, we promote the balance and the mentorship of all men. But we want to specialize on the people who are Black or brown who look like us. So without any further ado, I am so excited to have our guest on here today. This is her first time with the Mental Health Marty Show and with the 100 Black Men. So we want you to give her a great welcome. And just so you know, if you have any questions, we will be taking questions. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, it is important that you go to our YouTube channel, whether it's Mental Health Marty or the 100 Black Men. We will be answering those questions, and we'll see those in the chat, because we always have very live discussions and we don't want this to be an exception. So if you have questions, I am so excited to have this financial wizard. She's been doing this. This is her passion, and we are so excited that she's going to be joining the Mental Health Marty Show for the first time, but it definitely will not be the last time. None other than our expert of the night, Miss LaToya Turner.
Oh
Hey
God.
there.
Hi. Good evening.
How are
good evening.
you?
I am doing excellent. So excited to be here.
Well, I am so excited to have you, and thank you. You've been patient with me as we've been talking for about a little over a month now,
Yes.
and life be lifing.
Right.
And I'm so glad you're like, look, I put some time on my schedule, so let's make this happen. And I'm so
Yes,
glad you did. I am so glad you did. But
absolutely.
thank you for joining. So, for the people who may not know you, yes, there we go, Daniel. Great to see you. Yes, love it. Yes, I love the content too. Can you tell our viewers, because this is going to be on our YouTube channel and everything, can you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and your history about finances and why you are so excited in educating us about finances?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Marty, for having me on the show and the 100 Black Men for allowing me the platform to be able to share my passion. I have been in the financial industry for about 15 years. I
Wow.
got my licenses in the industry, leaving the actual legal field. I worked for the legal field for
Okay.
15 years as well, right? I know I look
Okay.
18, but I was about,
Yes.
my passion, I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I come from a lot of, miseducation. The
Yes.
educational system is really not good there. And so when I moved to California, I was able to get my degree and actually get well
Hmm.
educated. And so I always had a passion to be able to help other people,
That's
just
right.
overcome where it comes to financial challenges, especially for our community, because those are the two
Yes.
areas where we fail the most. And those
Right.
end us in bad situations. And so this is so pivotal for us to know this as a people. And so working in those fields, I ventured off. My oldest son wind up being on the football team, and he had to volunteer. I guess when you're on a football team, you have to do internship and
Right.
volunteer work. And he volunteered at a facility, and I talked to the people, and they asked me to actually volunteer there. So I
Right.
volunteered my services for 2.5 years of just giving free legal information, free financial resources. And so my passion really grew stronger there to know that I was helping people, and it wasn't tied to any financial income for me.
Right.
It just was a passion and a spiritual thing for me.
Right.
And so I'm just still on that mission, and I want to be able to share as much knowledge, because us as people, if we share knowledge, we can really move as a people.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Listen, first you're from Louisiana. So
Yes.
yes, you listen. Don't give me. Every time I go to Louisiana, I gain about 20 pounds because by the
Of
time I got
course.
finished crawfish and fried catfish and grits and gumbo and etouffee and all that, I can't. But thank you for your passion. Thank you for just knowing kind of both sides, because the legal side and then also know the financial side. What would you say? And I love what you said, but to reiterate, what is one of the biggest barriers that you have noticed about us as a people when it comes to just understanding finances?
Oh my God, Marty. I think one thing is, it's so many, too many
Yes.
to think of, but one thing that comes to mind is trust. We've
Mm,
been taken advantage of so many years where it comes to finances, right? We saw our
yes.
grandmothers, give the insurance man money when he came to our
Yep.
door, right? And then when something happened, it was a little bit of money, not money to really take care of everything.
Right.
So we've been taken advantage of because of our ignorance when it comes to
Yes.
finances for so many years. So we just don't trust anymore. And that
Yes.
barrier holds us back. But another thing is we're overspenders and we're overfinancers. We finance everything and we spend a lot of money and we don't even watch where our money's going. And those areas that affect us
Yes.
because we wait too late to save for retirement, right? And we put our money in places where it's not returning us any value. So those, just to name a few, are the biggest concerns, especially what I see in our community where we suffer where
Yes.
it comes to finances.
Oh my, you're talking my language, because you said some things. Because I remember my grandmother, the insurance man came, she paid maybe $1.50, $2 a week, or whatever that might have been. I know I'm not the only one out there. So if that's been any of y'all, listen, put in a comment. You've seen that too. But you're absolutely right. I think I know I get overwhelmed sometimes.
Yes.
What do I put it in a 50, 401(k), 50?
Yes.
I'm all confused rated tonight.
401(k).
Or
Yeah.
thank you.
403(b). Yes.
403(b). Right. And what that looks like. Do I put it in we've been taught save, 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 but what type of savings?
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And do I move it? Do I put it in, you know, all these long-term, short-term, and we don't
Yes.
know what to do. And so I think we're all still understanding that and
Hmm.
knowing. Thank you for talking about trust too, because
Yes.
you're right. when it comes to medical, when it comes to our finances, even when it comes, we have been taken advantage of.
Yes.
And when I look at the history of when we had Tulsa, Oklahoma, we
Mhm.
had all these thriving businesses, and even when we're taken advantage of there, we still thrived. But at
Yes.
some time, we get tired of being taken
Okay.
advantage of. You're like, enough is enough. Yes. And I
Yes.
think even today, if I could go here, we get so caught up on designer everything.
We purchase things that return us no value.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go. We want the top cars. We want the top designer shoes. We'll spend $3,000 on an outfit and live in a welfare house. You know, that just we at our level. We have to change our mentality
Yes.
and look at. We don't understand delayed gratification as it comes to real
Mhm.
estate
Yes.
and some other things. So
Yes.
look, you have prepared a presentation, so I don't want to, because I'll talk to you all night and get all the information myself. So
Yeah.
thank you for this, and I'm going to let you start because I love this. Financial literacy 101, money management, budget. Ooh, you done said a bad word right there.
Mhm.
Budgeting and legacy planning. Ooh, I love that. I'm
Yeah.
going with the legacy planning. We got to leave a legacy for our people.
Oh
I
my God.
love that. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you take over. I might interrupt you every now and then, especially when
I
it
don't
talks to
mind.
me and when I get into shame mode, I'll let you know. So talk
Absolutely.
to us, please.
Yes, yes. I mean, my whole vision for tonight and my whole goal is tonight that somebody walks away with something, even if it's one piece of information
Love
that can
it.
help you make better decisions financially and that will transfer, to generations to come because knowledge is transferable, right? And so if I
Yes.
teach you, my kids will learn early in life what I learned late in life. Right. And
Yes.
so that is what this conversation is about. So when we talk about financial literacy and money management, right, there are some financial challenges. We brought up some earlier about what is the most common things that people, do wrong when it comes
Hmm.
to finances. But I have another slide that's coming up that shows you what people are dealing with in just in America in general, right? That is
Love
common
it.
to all of us across all races, right? And
Yep.
one of the top things that people are dealing with is guess what? 57% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
So half of America
Been
gets
there.
paid and all their money is going towards their bills. That's
Hmm.
majority of people, right? That's a problem. That right now, inflation and the cost of living is something that's elevated on a consistent basis. Goods, services, utilities, gas, and rents are constantly rising. But if
Yep.
those things are rising and our income isn't rising with it, that's a problem.
Hmm.
That keeps us in a bubble, right? Right now, credit card debt and student loan debt, most people feel like they'll never be able to pay that stuff off.
Right.
Like they don't even have an end date for paying that off, right?
Hmm.
42% of Americans report that they have no life insurance or not
Mm.
enough life insurance, and the average retirement plan is about 88,000.
That's it.
88,000. This is why you see so commonly people of a certain age going back to work. It's not
Hmm.
because they're bored at home, like some people like to say, it's because they
We
don't
can't
have
live.
enough money. They've lived longer than their money.
Yes.
So
Yes.
back
See,
to our first conversation when you asked that question, and I said that the problem is people wait to start retiring. We wait because we
yes.
think we have to be a certain age when we start saving for retirement, but you can be 18 years old and start saving for
Start
retirement.
thinking about that. I love that. Can I share another thing that I've seen that and I'm not the best friend. Let me tell you, I had to change my relationship and I couldn't be
Yes.
afraid to show my financial planner where I messed up.
Yes.
I was embarrassed because I did have to file a bankruptcy before. Oh my God, I was devastated. I was devastated. Uh, Phoebe, so good to see you, darling. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us. But one of the things that I seen, filing these bankruptcy, also, I don't know if they're still as popular. Remember back in the day, they did checking the cash, checking it, and you a payday loan advancement. And by the time you did all that, you get your paycheck and it's gone
Yes.
because the interest on that is yes, this is good. I need this. Oh, listen, we all need it. We all need it. Yes. So go right ahead,
Yes.
about those things. Go. There you
No,
go.
seriously, Marty, the industry is very predatory, and
Hmm.
you can only do better if you know better, right? And so
Yes.
that's why the education is so important. And this is an ongoing conversation that has to be had because we have to retrain systemically as well as culturally, as well as what we
Yes.
were raised around, right? Because we saw our moms with a bunch of credit cards. We
Yep.
saw our, we the things that we do right now with our money is indicative to what we saw our parents do, right? And so
Yes.
budgeting is something, like you said, that's a bad word. People don't want to hear about it, but budgeting
Mm-mm.
is so necessary because where is our money going? And we
Hmm.
touched on this earlier too, is going out to dining out. Boy, if you
Yep.
have a Uber Eats, or you have a DoorDash or Instagram, Instacart, you are spending excessive amount of delivery fees, right? We're eating out on a constant basis. We have subscriptions all
Yep.
throughout. We're paying for streaming services. We're paying for coffee. It's so much unnecessary.
Yes.
So,
You know what
so
I learned to do? I bought, I said, I quit since I stopped going to Starbucks and just went to Costco, got the little Starbucks K-Pods and all that. Listen, I started drinking the coffee at work. The coffee at work is free. I'm going to drink the free coffee at work. I got to stop at Starbucks every day, or I take my coffee from home. That there alone, I start saving literally $100 a month by not just going to Starbucks. It makes a
that's
huge
discipline.
difference.
That's discipline,
Yes.
Marty. Yes.
Yes.
And a lot of people, we don't want to discipline ourselves because we want what we want. But the problem is we will never change as a society if we don't make those necessary disciplinary actions. We just have to, right? And so when it
Hmm.
comes to budgeting, there's a rule that you want to follow. It's called a 50-30-20 rule.
Okay.
50% of your expenses, 50% of your income is going to go towards your necessary expenses, which is rent, food, transportation. 30% of it is going to go on the extra curriculum stuff, the entertainment, right? But
Uh-huh.
20% of it needs to be saved.
Oh,
You
Lord.
have to put yourself in position where you are saving 20% of your income. See, that's called paying yourself first, right?
Yes.
You want to take your income minus your expenses, and then the saving portion is going to save you for the rest of your life. It's going to
I
put you in a
love it.
position where you can retire comfortably, right? So we want to prevent the overspending, reduce your debt, start a savings plan, and create a peace of mind so you can have it. You can retire at some point free and never have to return back to work. But it takes a lot of discipline up front. Like you mentioned, that
Yes.
delayed gratification is what you need right now.
See, I'm trying to be like our president, gentleman Duncan, who just was on here greeting us. He part Jamaican because he got 10 jobs.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
but and I love that. Thank you for saying this, Dr. Davis. Good to see you. Yes, yes. You said 50% need. Ooh, wait a minute now. 50% need.
Of your
So
income.
of my
Yes.
income. I remember when there was a time where my whole check on the first did nothing but pay for rent.
What's the need?
Need, and I needed the other check to pay the car, the insurance, the electricity. So I was not at this 50-30-20. Was
Yes.
not. I'm okay. You're making me go back and look at my expenditures because Apple is killing me. I got like 5 charges from Apple. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I went in there
Yeah.
talking about somebody in here then got my card and stealing from me. I want my money back. Now they ain't paid me back, but still. But
Yes.
what are some things that we can do to eliminate? Because I think a lot of times, Miss Latoya, we get confused between wants and needs.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
from a financial perspective, what are the differences between a want and a need?
Okay. A need is a necessity that you must have, or bad things are going to happen. Like if
Okay.
you don't have a house, where are you going to live? If you're not paying the utilities of the house, how is that going to look? If
Okay.
if you don't have food, how
Right.
can you survive, right? Those are necessities, right? The
Yes.
things that we call or that we may consider necessities is eating out. That's not a necessity because you can go to the grocery store and you can buy a pound of ground beef and you can buy a pound of chicken, and it probably will wind up being cheaper because it will last longer, first of all, right? It's probably
Yes.
healthier as well, right? It's
Yeah.
not a need, right? And so, I think the discipline around choosing to eat out. Now, in my same conversation, I'm not saying that you never should eat out.
Right.
It's just you should curb it. You can't eat out 5
Mm,
days a week, or we're not going to do Starbucks 7 days a week. If you pick, maybe 2 days a week, I'm going to just
right.
cut. Once you start cutting things back, you will start to see an impact and a difference. Every time I do a budget for a family, Marty,
Hmm.
every time, and the budget is basically looking at their income and then
Yes.
taking minusing their expenses, they always have $200 to $500 excess money that is not going towards the need.
Mm,
If you were to sit down tonight and literally write down your expenses, your income, what is coming into the household, and just take off the rent, take off gas, take off
yes.
utilities, take off food, take off the necessary
Yes.
things, and then see what's left over, you would realize you have way more money going in places that don't really equate to you really building anything financially well.
Yes. Because now, if I'm not mistaken, I know my bank does it now, is giving me a monthly
There you go.
summary of
Exactly.
where I'm spending my money
Yes.
and I'm like, wait a minute, I ate way too much this month,
Yes.
and my palate ain't got, I like Fleming's and Ruth Chris and
Ooh, that's expensive.
I was like, boy, I want to get a coupon and happy hour, but but you're absolutely. Thank you for sharing that because a lot of times, and we think that some of our wants are actually needs when they're not.
They're not.
They're
That's so,
not.
that's so
I
true.
like some designer shoes just like everybody else and a good suit, but you know, I have to also budget those things and be like, well, this month is not especially because
Yes.
life happens. I was driving my car, ran over something on the freeway that I couldn't avoid, and I end up having to get two new tires. Well, tires aren't cheap for these electric
Mhm.
cars.
Okay.
And then because of that, I so end up having to replace. So I had to come out $1,000 out of pocket that had I not have my emergency cash fund for a rainy day, that would have impacted my need budget.
Yes. Yes. That's so
Y-
good. That's so good.
Yeah. But,
Yes.
but my goal. So would you say when we're talking about a savings for that, how much should we honestly have? Would you recommend in a savings account to be comfortable? Like I've been told, we need to start off by having 3 months at a bare
Ye-
minimum of your
Yes.
needs in
Yes.
your
Yes.
savings.
Yes, that's exactly right. Dave Ramsey, he's very common for that
Mhm.
conversation. Typically 3 to 6 months of
I'm trying to
either
get
your
six.
yes, 3 to 6 months of your income or your expenses.
Okay.
So I'm going to have three to
Okay.
six months of my income or my expenses. That way, if I have 3 months of my expenses, i.e., rent, if something happens, I have 3 months of my rent saved, put away, so that it
Mm,
won't set me back. So 3 months of
right.
your income and or expenses put away. 3 months is the first place to start. So while we're talking about budgeting and having that delayed gratification and kind of looking at where your money is going and going between what's wants and what's needs, when you start to draw back on some of that stuff, now you free up money to put in an emergency fund, because that's the whole
Yes.
goal. We're finding
Yes.
places where we can free up money. This money has been tied up into going to all these things that we want, not need, and now we're deciding to cut back on the coffee. Cut back. I'm only going to eat
Yes.
out once a week. I'm only going to do this. I'm only going to have one subscription. Right? We have like
Okay.
7 different subscriptions. You should cut back on those subscriptions. Half of them you don't watch, or are you only watching for one show? That's not worth you spending $30 a month. If you take that $30 and you multiply by 12, that's $360. You can have that money saved into your emergency fund. So
Hmm.
again, prioritizing how
I
bad
love
is
it.
it for you, and how bad do you want to get to a better place financially?
Wow, that's good. That's good. I think that's the key. And that's what I had to say. How bad do I want to get and
Yes,
get financial? And it feels good
it
just to
does.
know I have that little cushion just in case something does happen. I won't have to stress out and go without. So I may have to tighten my belt. So you're right. I won't go out this week. I won't go out. I'm gonna get that $5 chicken from Costco. I'm gonna have some chicken tacos, some chicken salad,
Yes,
chicken
yes,
enchiladas.
yes, yes. Meal prep is worth it.
Yes, yes, yes. So I love the slide you're talking about here. It says bypass the middleman. Talk to us about
Yes.
that.
So historically, the only place we really learned on where to put our money is the bank. That's
Hmm.
historically most of us. That's all our grandmothers would put, save some money, put your money. Well,
Right.
probably was under the mattress back in the day, but we
Hmm.
learned about banks eventually. And so banks is where we put our money. The problem with banks though, right? And you will always have a bank account because the way the world works, you need to have a bank account. You got to
Yes.
have it to pay your bills,
Yes.
your mortgage. You need a bank
Yes.
account. However, when it comes to having my money grow, these are the stats around banks. Banks usually offer us low rates of return for our money. The average rate of return right now at a bank is 0.07%. And you can Google that. So
Yeah.
that
Wow.
0.07% is what the bank is, what you're earning from your money. That's less than a penny a year. So
Wait,
how
wait,
can
wait,
I
wait.
grow if my money is only earning 0.07? I didn't say 1%. I said this is 0.07%. And that's what your money is earning in the bank account.
Oh my
And your
goodness.
savings or your credit union, it's not really
Yes.
earning anything, right? The next thing is the bank actually loans your money out, right?
Hmm.
And they loan your money out, and they get high interest rates,
Yes.
rates of return for your money, right? That's not illegal for a bank to do, and it's not for us to be mad at the bank. What it is to pay attention to what the bank is doing. Because we can do the
Mm.
same thing. We can invest money as well. The problem is we don't know enough about investing, and we've heard horror stories, so we stay away from it. But the statistics show, and all I'm saying, everything I'm saying is Googleable, right? The
Yes.
statistics show that African Americans, we are the least demographic to have money in the market. And guess what that
Yes.
puts us on the wealth on the wealth chart? We are still at the bottom because we
Yep.
don't have our money in the market. We don't own a lot of real estate. We don't have our money in the market. We don't own enough businesses, because those are the three ways where people amass wealth. Nobody gets rich off of just working a job and putting money into an account. You got to invest your money as well. You have to purchase
That's
assets that
right.
return value. And so what my conversation around this is yes, use the bank account to pay your bills, but that's not where you're going to use your money to grow it.
Okay, so thank you. Can we go back to Daryl? Can we go back to Dr. Davis's comments? He says this, and I would love for your comment. It says, I would even recommend saving up to 6 months for the next 3 years, and then get a high yield savings account or shared certificate, and use the interest towards your wants, i.e., vacation, etc.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yes,
agree. Yeah, I agree.
yes.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Come on,
And
Dr. Davis. Dr. Davis,
yes.
I'm gonna need you to take me out on a vacation with your interest that you make. And everything. but
Exactly.
can you also talk about? Can we talk about that high yield interest on certain savings account? What for
Yes.
those who may not know, what is that, and how do I
Yes.
even know how to ask for it?
Yes. Well, if you go to a bank right now, they're at an actual bank, you'll probably see a CD, but that's a bank
Hmm.
account. Where
Right.
you want to really go is a financial firm, because then your
Mm,
options expand as far as where you can invest your money. When you're talking
okay.
to a bank only can offer you so much because that's more retail,
Right.
right? But when you talk about investing, you want to do a financial firm, and there's several. And I want to I don't want to
Okay.
promote any, but there's several financial firms that you can walk into, and you can set up a high yield account and something like a mutual fund, right? Something like
Okay.
an annuity or maybe a
Hmm.
bond, or those are things that return you high rates of return. And so that is what I would recommend for the average
Okay.
person that just has no knowledge at all, is you want to get with a financial firm, not just a bank. Because remember, the bank is going to be limited on what could really offer
Hmm.
you. Like I
Hmm.
said, CDs right now is popular with the banks, but they still
Right.
only earn you maybe 3%, still not high. The market has averaged over 18% in the last 20 years, and that's including COVID. So if
Okay.
the market is averaging 18%, why can't we get some of that 18%? It's because we're not going to the places where we can get it. And the banks will not give it to you because they're giving us 0.07%.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love that. So you're talking about three accounts we need. What are the three accounts I see that you want to share that we
Yeah.
really need?
Yes. And so the first account is what we've had a conversation about,
Hmm.
which is the emergency fund. The emergency fund, it could be something like a money market account, which is
Okay.
also a account where you get, I won't say high yielding, but you can get anywhere from 1 to 3% out of a money market account, right? And that is
Hmm.
basically where you're putting away 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, or your
Okay.
of your income or your living expenses, right? So that's a fundamental account that you must have. We cannot just use our bank account to do everything in, which historically we've done. We use our bank
Hmm.
account, our checking and savings to, pay the bills. If an emergency arises, we're saving for the kids' college. We're doing everything in
Hmm.
that account, and that's dangerous. We have to do what is called diversify. Meaning
Mm.
our money should be in different places because it should be serving different purposes. My bank
Hmm.
account is for my day to day. My emergency fund is for when things unexpected happen. The second type of account is going to be a short term savings. That can be something like a mutual fund. And that's where you're putting money away for any things that you want to accomplish in the next 3 years. So
Gotcha.
that could be vacation or purchasing a home or starting a business or just some big purchase or a vacation that you want to do. You want to make sure that you have an account specifically to accommodate that, right? The
Hmm.
third type of account is going to be a long-term savings, and that's for long-term purposes. Could be retirement or just some long-term goal that you have, right? You want to make sure that money is being set aside on, and even if you have something with your job, you also can have an additional retirement plan. You don't have to rely solely on your job because this you have more control over. The dangerous thing about counting on just one thing that your job is offering is because
Right.
companies go out of business all the time. And
Right.
benefits are
Yes.
typically the first thing to go when companies merge or do an acquisition. And so I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. It's great that
Right.
I have that, but if I can also have my own separate where I have control over and it follows me no matter where I go. And so these are the
I like
accounts
that.
that you want to set up because it will set up a basic structure for you to really start seeing where your money is going. And once you start seeing this money grow, you'll get excited about it. You
Hmm.
won't be you when you have extra money, you have an option of where you're gonna, okay, this time I'm gonna put the money in my long term. This time you'll play with it more, and you will see the
Yes.
benefits of it and you will see this money grow over time. And this is what I recommend for people to do just so they can start getting on the right side of things where it comes to their money.
It is kind of exciting seeing it grow because you don't want to touch it. You're like, I got no money.
Yes.
No.
And you don't, because this is for
Right.
future.
Yes. Can you talk about because like for example, my company we offer a it's not much but it's something on our 401k a matching program. And
Yeah,
when I was looking at the statistics, only about 15 maybe 20 at best percent of the employees take advantage
oh
of the
wow.
matching and I'm just going, you all are leaving free money on the table. But again, I think it goes back to we don't understand what a matching
Yes.
program is.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit about sometimes
Yes.
if there or can they, I would recommend first ask your HR, do we have or your finance, do we have a matching program? What
Yes.
is it? And what do
Yes.
I need to contribute in order to
Yes.
maximize
Yes.
the matching?
Yes, and every company's matching program kind of differs, but from what I have learned about the matching program, they will match whatever interest rate that whatever you earned on in that particular quarter. So if you
Hmm.
earned, a certain percentage, they will match the amount that you earned. So that is increasing and making your money grow much,
Right.
much quicker than it would normally if you were just doing it on your own. So
Right.
that's an added thing that you should always do. And you should have a conversation with your human resources to find out what your rate of return. That's an important
Yes.
thing to find out how much money because guess what? You can take that, you can Google financial calculator and you can put your interest rate in and whatever your value of your retirement plan is and 30 and do 30 years out and it'll tell you how much you'll have saved in
Yes.
30 years. And guess what? If that number is insufficient, now you know where the adjustments need to make. Okay, I need to add a little bit more. So maybe you can add a little bit more and see what that kind of works out to be so that you can retire comfortably.
Yes, I love this. I take advantage of the matching program, 5%. That's right. Take advantage of it.
Yes,
Don't leave free money on the table. I don't care if they're giving out 1 penny. I want it. I
exactly.
want it. I want it. I want it. It's my
Yes,
penny that y'all going. I want it. I do.
absolutely.
Listen, you helping me. I don't know about anyone else, but you helping me. I'm rethinking. So I love this. Next steps and strategy. Talk
Yes.
to us.
Yes. I mean, to kind of wrap everything up where it comes to the finances and kind of make it make sense for people is really just getting your financial house in order. Really, that's what it
Yes.
is, right? And so, and getting that structure together, I'm just taking everything that we've already discussed and kind of
Yeah.
laying it out, right? And so,
Okay.
the first part of building that financial house is the solid foundation, and that's going to be protecting your income and definitely making sure that you're estate planning, right? Because you got to
Mhm.
plan for that first. Right, you don't wait
Yes.
later for that. You do that early already. You do that early on. We want to make sure
Yes.
that you have insurances in place and that you have your estate planning so that when something happens, your assets can all stay within your family. So that has to be done first, right? The second thing you're going to do is you're going to create that budget we talked about. Then you're going to start that
Before you go
emergency
to the
fund.
answer, can I ask you a question? when you're talking about your estate planning and making sure your trust and because a lot of us don't do that, and
Yes.
then it gets caught up in probate and
Probate.
all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know
Exactly.
what? So why is it so important? Even if we, especially if we are homeowners, but even if you're not a homeowner, why is it important? Because I say it this way as a believer. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us,
Right.
and too much goes back to the state or
Yes.
or not getting to our loved ones, or it's put in that. And you know what I found out too? That you can put, I didn't know this. You can put stuff in your estate that say, listen, Johnny don't get the money
You
if
sure can.
right, Johnny ain't gonna get the money if he keep acting a fool.
You
Uh,
sure
uh,
can.
or he can use this. One person I know said, listen, he don't get the money unless he goes to a drug rehab and he has to be
Absolutely.
off rehab for a year. I listen, my mind was blown. I'm like, wait a minute, I can put conditions on this. Oh, I went crazy.
That's another financial concept or that hasn't been taught to us is managing your estate where you can dictate
Yes.
what's to happen, and that ensures that the money stays in the family for life. That's how you do it, is because you are constructing how you want your assets. So
Yes.
setting up estate planning, your living trust and your wills are so important for you to do, because you can dictate those things. Now, whether you have, because in a living trust, there's several different components in a living trust, right? There's
Mhm.
the yes, thank you so much. That was a good slide. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you want the last will and testament is included into there, your
Mhm.
revocable living trust, your powers of
Mhm.
attorney for health care, your powers of attorney for, for assets, and your life insurance. Those are the components of a good estate planning, right? And so
Yes.
even if I don't own property, I can designate, for example, how my, if someone needs to take over my healthcare decisions for me, I can kind of designate that for a person, for someone.
Yes.
If I have, bills that need to be paid, I can
Yes.
designate someone to kind of, take care of those type of things, right? And even if you don't have a home, you can fund your living trust with your life insurance. So let's say you
Yes.
have $100,000 worth of life insurance, you can put that into your trust, and the actual trust will distribute the money how you want it to be distributed. So you can say something like, let's say you purchase $100,000 of life insurance, right?
Mhm.
And you say, okay, with 50,000, I want that to be allocated to put a down payment on a home, or I want 25,000 to go to this person, or you can actually have the trust spend the
I
money
love that.
like you want it to be spent.
Yes. Because
So
you ain't gonna
that you
put me
don't
in.
necessarily, right?
I said they ain't gonna put me in Shady Pines after I done worked this hard.
You can designate that. Yes, yes, yes. You can tell them exactly. You can even, when it comes to spending the money, the trust will spend the money the way you want it to spend the money. So you
Listen.
can fund your insurance with your living trust. You may have vehicles, you may have bank accounts,
Yes.
all those things. You can designate how the money is spent and where those things go. So it is important that you still put together a trust, whether or not you have a real estate property, to put
Right.
in the trust. Yeah.
That's so good because see, anyone who's 50 or above, listen, we need to start dictating because these kids have lost their mind. Mine might throw me on the side of the alley somewhere. No, they ain't. But my daughter keeps threatening me. She's gonna put me and her mama in the same room and try and get a 2-for-1 and not change our diapers. But I'm like,
Yes.
oh my, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let you finish this. We'll keep
Yes.
going what you're doing on this.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
good. You helping me.
Yes. So when it comes to wills and living trust, people are
Yes.
sometimes they're confused about the differences. Well,
Mhm.
the strength of a will, it is simple to create. You can literally handwrite a will out, right? And you only just need two people to actually acknowledge that they saw you write up the will. You get to list a beneficiary, a guardianship for your child. However, you still have to go to probate. So
Mhm.
what that means is you have to take that will, somebody
Yep.
passes, you have to take that will to the court, pay court fees, pay a legal person to be able to create the documentation for you, right? And then it's approved, and then the court will decide if this is a legitimate will.
Oh,
Whereas a living trust, it avoids probate in totality. You maintain privacy. Nobody has to see when anything that goes in the court is public record. With a living trust, that you maintain privacy. People don't know what your assets are. The distribution is much faster, and you get to manage your money even if you get to manage your assets even if you're incapacitated. That's the power of a living trust. So this is the differences, and this is why it is recommended that you do a living trust, because I think it just covers all, well, I know that it covers all bases and it
I
avoids that
love it.
probate.
Listen, Daniel's giving you the amens up here. He said this queen ain't missing nothing. I love it. But those are the things, because a lot of times I think we do get confused.
Yes.
Probate can take years as well. You're absolutely
Yes.
right. And,
Yes.
and so knowing the difference between a will and a living trust, and I think thank you for educating us on that. So my challenge to everyone: go get you a living trust. Do not let June slip by and we don't have these living trusts in order.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. There we go. Continue. Why powers of attorneys matter. There we
Yes.
go.
So powers of attorney, they live as long as you're alive. When you pass, a power attorney dies with you. But while
Okay.
you're alive, in the event you become incapacitated, that could be because you have to have a surgery, that could be you had an accident, or it could be some type of mental capacity, right? But it
Mhm.
allows you to manage your finances, because you will have pre-written out what you want to have with your money and your health decisions before you become capacitated. So it's a
Mhm.
preventive measure, right? It ensures
Mhm.
that your medical decisions are followed, right? So people just can't do what they want. They have to go based on what you say. It prevents court guardianship. Guardianship is if you have a minor child,
Right.
you've already appointed somebody in your will, remember? And then it provides
Yes.
continuity with your family, meaning peace. It's no
Okay.
argument, because I've already decided what I want to happen. So my family can't come in the room and start fighting over anything.
Because you know ninjas will. I'm sorry. People will.
They will. They will.
Yes. Mama promised. That happened at my father's when he died. Folks came up and said, well, he promised me this. I said, well, can I even get to Ohio before y'all start claiming stuff? But we have to do all these things
You have
and
to.
make sure, because people, when people die, that the ugliness comes out.
It does. It does.
It
And you
really
can
does.
prevent that by
Yes.
dictating those things. And so the ways you fund a living trust, you can
Okay.
fund it with a life insurance policy. You can
Okay.
fund it with tangible assets like real estate, vehicles, machinery,
Okay.
boats, or you can fund it with non-tangible things like bank accounts, retirement plans, stock certificates. So there's several ways you can fund your living trust. You don't have to have one or the other. You can have
Okay.
either of these things and still be able to fund that trust.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
This is great.
And so in closing, really the goal is just to get into the know, inquire,
Yes.
ask questions. You want to be inquisitive on how you can start doing better. I would think the simple thing to do tonight for most people when it comes to the budgeting is take out a old school white composition notebook, right, with a white piece of paper,
Mhm.
and write down your income, how much is coming into the house, and then deduct the necessary things, the rent, the gas, the utilities, those necessary things, and look at what you have left over. What you have left over is going towards a lot of things that are not needs. And you can cut back on that. Even if you were to cut back, let's say you have an additional, once you do that and you have an additional $100, do you know you can start a plan towards saving with just $25? Sometimes it's
Right.
not the dollar amount. Sometimes it's just the habit.
Yes.
Once you get the habit of it down and you start seeing that money grow, then you will get addicted to it, because that's your money. And when an emergency comes, you look up and you got $500 saved in that account. So you don't got to call mama no more, because you got
That's
the money
right.
on your own. And so that is I think that's the easiest way to just get your foot in the game to start, and definitely, look into getting an insurance plan, as well as looking into doing a living trust and a will.
Well, listen, Daniel, we got to have you on next time to come in here and y'all do a power tag team with this and do that thing. This has been so great. And please, y'all, please like, share, and get this out to family members, your frenemies, everybody, because we have to do better. And I'm gonna say our people perish because of lack of knowledge. We have some knowledge here, and thank you for putting, because that was going to be my next question. How do we get a hold of you? Listen, if you need a financial coach, and y'all don't be cheap. Now I'm speaking on her behalf. Don't y'all come up here, Alfred, like you in church with $2 and the collection plate. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Financial planners ain't cheap, because we need to get you where you need to be. And I don't like being cheap, because We want everything for free. So yes, you got both of calling her tomorrow during business hour. Thank you, Phoebe. See, that's First Lady Phoebe. Very informative, much needed. Yeah, Jeff, how you doing, brother? This brother watched me for all the way from Michigan. He is faithful.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, yes. Daniel, Latoya, it's such a pleasure listening to you. Yes, Daniel, thank you, thank you. Keep these comments coming in. We need this. And please, her contact information is on there. Thank you so much. It was very timely, informative. That's right. We try to do that. Again, you can reach Latoya at 909-583-5508. Now, don't be blowing up her phone. Text her first. You good. Hopefully that's your Google number. Don't be, and then or via email, financialspecialist.lt@gmail.com. You have helped us so much, and thank you for taking the time. And this shows that this is your passion.
Yes.
It is clear that this is your passion.
Yes.
You love it. You presented it in a way that we can receive it,
Yes.
and that we can laugh about it. And so one of the segments I do in this show is called Dare to Dream. And in this Dare to Dream, what would be your dream for especially us as a people when it comes to financial literacy and economic empowerment? What would your dream be?
Oh my God, that's such a big question. I'd like us to be in position where we own more. We own more things, because when we own things, we're in control. There's always these historical stories we've heard about Black Wall Street and
Yes.
how we owned our communities. I think we can take more control if we owned more. We own the businesses. We go into other communities, and some communities they dominate it. We can always say there's a Chinatown somewhere, and the Chinatown is thriving because there's thriving businesses that are owned by them. Right. We can go to the Hispanic community and we can see that they're thriving and they're supporting one another. My dream would be for us to create that same for ourselves.
I love that. That is beautiful. And one of the things that you hit the nail on the head when you said the Asian community, they support the whether it's Italian, and we also know that the Jewish community, what they say that the dollar will travel in their community 12 to 15 times before it leaves. But if you look at the Black community, if it makes it around twice, and I would my dream would be that we would be more understanding and patient with each other.
Yes,
I want to give back and always support Black-owned and minority-owned businesses. And I don't get upset with them when we make a mistake. Awesome. Thank you so much. You delivered. President Duncan, that's what we're trying to do. There she is. I got my living Trump 4 months ago. She is. Yes, she is. So, Daryl, you are not in the trust. Your mama already put me in the trust, so don't even worry about that. So I got you. I got you. Spot on. Ownership is not only empowerment, it is also a form of protection from the system and powers that be. That is so true. Latoya, what I've learned to do, especially with Black-owned businesses, I will pull them inside and say, you know what? I'm also a Black-owned business. I own my own business. And here's what I liked. And here's what, as just me as a consumer, I'm going to continue to support you. But here's what would make me even more excited. And I don't mind doing a one-on-one like that. And because too often we will badmouth Black businesses. We will tell other people, don't support them. They're not consistent, or they don't do this. And we have to get away from being crabs in a barrel and tearing each other down as well. Because that can bring about empowerment as well. Because I believe if we love our community enough, I'm not just going to love them in the good times. I'm going to love you enough to say, hey, this kind of bothered me. And I don't have to be disrespectful. I ain't got to be hood or any of those things. I say, listen, I love what you're doing. I'm here to support. And can I just talk to you, brother to sister?
Yes.
This would and give a courtesy, because we don't stop. Now I ain't went back to Target since I ain't been in Target in almost 2 years now.
Okay.
But we still go to Walmart. We've been offended by Walmart. I'm not going to Cracker Barrel because they offended me and did some stuff. I ain't going back to. I'm not going to give people that offend me the joy of having my dollars.
Right.
I'm not going to give my power away.
Absolutely.
Yes. So Thank you. Listen, you're going to be a regular on here. We may have to have a once a month financial talk or something to get some
Yes,
segments in that, because you're absolutely right. We got to have get back control of our, because I would love to talk about ownership. What does
yes,
that? That's a whole nother segment. I
yes,
was afraid of it for so many years, and now I'm being transparent because I was divorced. I had a bankruptcy, all those other things. So I was in my own mind, I was destroying myself, saying
yeah,
I don't deserve it because
yeah,
I've messed up too bad.
yeah, yeah,
And it was my attorney who told me, Marty, get over yourself.
yeah,
Stop making this an emotional attachment
yes,
and file the bankruptcy and do better.
yes, and do better. That's
And
it.
do
Because
better.
bankruptcy is a tool. It's a tool, and I gotta tell you, when I worked for the law firm, I saw people file it a lot.
Thank
That
you.
weren't us. That weren't us.
Yes.
And so, yes, it's a
I ain't
tool for
want
us to use.
I ain't want to gossip, but somebody is who's in a very high position has filed numerous bankruptcies.
I'm just
But
saying,
but but
it's a
we
fresh
just
start.
saying, yes, 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 yes. Never give your power away. Doc, see that's the precedent. Doc, I get it. I get it. It's a oh, see, yes, you are my yard, sir. Oh, phew. Thank you, thank you. This has been awesome. That's my cousin. Thank you, cousin. So thank you again. This is something that we all needed, and thank you for allowing me to even be transparent. Because we have to. How I got better was sharing my story,
Yes.
and in
Yeah.
sharing my story, and not allowing the shame to stop me. I
Yes.
use it to empower me so
Yes.
that I would not repeat the same mistakes.
Love it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So that's why I can't thank you enough
Thank
for
you.
being here and supporting us and helping to uplift the community. So
Absolutely.
thank you, thank you. So before we close, this has been great. Again, people, please share this with everyone. But I want to make a few announcements. So Daryl, can we start what we're announcing? So we are so excited. Under the 100 Black Men, listen, we are going to be launching a wonderful new Rising 100 Youth Entrepreneurial Leadership Program. And this goes back into what Latoya was talking about. It's imperative that we teach our young people on how to be entrepreneurs. So this program is specifically geared for our high school students and college students. However, we will take middle school as well. We're going to have an information meeting on Saturday, June 13th. And the program itself launches on Saturday, July 11th. This is a year-long program. So if you are interested, you can contact me at msellers@100bmie.org for more information and get your young people signed up. This is going to be an outstanding program because we want to teach our young people not only about mentorship, but about economic empowerment. And that's what this is designed. Because if you own your own business, you don't have to worry about someone employing you, but that you become an employer of many. Not only are we excited about that, but calling all Black authors in Southern California. I want to host a Black Authors Conference and book signing festival. We have lots of, again, this is about supporting each other and making sure that we are not only supporting each other, but giving the exposure of what we need. Again, if you're interested in this, please contact me, whether it's minmartys@gmail.com or just simply hit me up in the comments section and we'll definitely reach back out. And some other programs we're looking at. Listen, we're so excited. The 100 Black Men is all about mentorship, economic empowerment, health and wellness, and education. Please check out our YouTube here with this, as well as our Instagram channel at the 100 Black Men of the Inland Empire for additional information. We're always having things going on. We would love for you to be a part of it. And we are having a networking mixer on next Wednesday, June 10th, in the city of Rialto. And this was, listen, $20 donation, but this is a time to mix and mingle, not bring out your businesses and networking. And again, so that we can see and support each other in the Inland Empire about Mixer. So if you have not been, you are missing out. These mixers have been phenomenal, and we are hosting it at the one and only Raquel's Lounge in the city of Rialto. Please check out our Instagram page for more information about that as well. And a shameless plug, non-shameless plug on, listen, we want to challenge our children in reading. And so please support me and my book that I've written called Chris is Sad. This is geared for elementary students, but it's also empowering our parents as well as young people on how to have healthy conversations surrounding divorce. This comes with your book that also is a poster, as well as a coloring book and crayons. We're giving you the summer bundle special of $30 plus $9.95 shipping and handling if you're not in the area. It is well worth it. Help support our young people in reading. And finally, hey, support me. If you're looking for a men's coach, life coach, or just come out as a guest speaker, listen, we do it all. Mental Health Marty, the mental health hygienist, coming to you always live in living color in Southern California. So listen, contact me. You can always book me. We're always excited to spread what we're talking about, mental health and mental awareness. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Too often, we don't want you to continue to secretly suffer in silence in the shadow of shame. But as I always say, we want you to speak up, speak out, and live. Remember, the best is still yet to come. And join us next week as we're going to be joining and having a conversation with our military men and women who have served our country so faithfully and what kind of services and awareness we can bring. But as always, have a great Tuesday evening, and we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Enjoy your life. Be free. Live right. Enjoy your life.